The lines are locked. 4, match day is near. 3, the picks are clear. 2, the picks are in. 1, let the show begin. Game on! It's that time again. Game on! Kicks and picks is back again. Game on! Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Game on! The guys are here and ready to go. Game on! Game on! Game on! Game on! The guys are here and ready to go.
Welcome back to the Kicks and Picks podcast. We are back from our 1-week holiday break last week, and it is a rare afternoon show for us since we have some time off from our real jobs. And it's a big one this afternoon, which is why we chose to do it today, Tuesday, because Arsenal is hosting Villa. Boys, first of all, hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. I'm going to wish all our listeners a Happy New Year in the next couple of days. But this is massive. I mean, we've got two sides that are hot, right? Villa, 11 straight wins. Arsenal, 5 straight wins, only 3 points separating them in the table currently. Villa was huge for us on the weekend, cashing in, come from behind fashion against Chelsea 2-1. I know I took that, and it paid very nicely. So what do you guys, first of all, great to see you again. And let's get into this one.
Let me put on my Scotty hat real quick.
Please do.
And first of all, everything you said, shout out everybody. Appreciate anybody that, has followed along with us. You guys in the chat week in and week out. Really appreciate it. Hope everybody had a great year. I know you won some money with us, so let's do some more of that in 2026. But let me put on my Scotty hat here because he told us very accurately that this was the test for Arsenal. Could they make it through? And I'm going to say they did decently well in that stretch.
They're still sitting at the top of the table. That's all that they needed.
Still sitting top of the table, right? And that's all you really could have asked for them, right? They had that tough matchup with Bayern in the Champions League, right at the beginning of the month, and they blew through them. So shout out Arsenal from that standpoint. But we have a title race now where we didn't a month and a half ago. So even though they did well, City and Villa are the hottest teams in the Premier League. And that's what's making this, I think, must-see TV for sure. I know I'm going to let Scotty talk because I know what I'm rooting for. And I know I have a good preview of what our bets are for. But I do want to shout out everybody who voted in the poll, and nobody picked Arsenal to win today. I just think that everybody has a common hope that Arsenal can blow this game and this race can be even better than it already is, because 5-6 weeks ago, it wasn't looking like we're going to have a competitive Premier League season, and now we are. So I'm just happy for that.
Well, I think I have an explanation for what's happened. We talked about a month ago how the continuity that Arsenal has had coming into the season has really bared a lot of fruit for them, where teams like Liverpool and City and to a lesser extent Chelsea have had a lot of incomings that they have to kind of figure out. We've seen Liverpool really struggle through the first 3 months of the season. City have been okay, they were better than they were last year, right? City had an off year last year, but not quite, the top Pep G type of City team that we're used to in years past. I think we're at the point in the season where these teams have started to gel. I think the new players have adjusted to the league. Cherokee is now playing really well. For Liverpool, Wirtz is seemingly bedded in really nicely, been like man of the match for the last 5 games. So I think now is where you're really at as we get into the January transfer window, ironically. But now is where you're at. Like, this is our squad for the year. Let's go make it a push, right? Because we are exactly 18 games into this season. So we are right after this. I think this is the halfway mark or thereabouts. So this is really where it becomes, okay, we know who the front runner is. It's Arsenal. We've got a bunch of qualified candidates that can kind of chase them down that are still in touch. Liverpool, maybe. I'm not going to rule them completely out, but I don't think that's really what their target is at this point. But City certainly have the potential to do it. And Villa, with the form that they're in, certainly have, the track record that can kind of make them a threat. And we're talking about an Arsenal team that's only lost in their last 6-8 weeks is against this Villa team about a month ago.
Yep.
So it's a really fun part of the schedule where we're seeing the reverse fixture happening just 3 weeks later. Mm-hmm. And it means a lot. We didn't really have this pegged as a game that could be a top 3, top 2 potential type matchup the beginning of the season. But now with how things have shaken out, it certainly has, a lot to say. And within this 4-week period, you could have Villa closing a 6-point gap on Arsenal just like that.
Yeah, what's interesting is in the Premier League, the way you do these reverse fixtures is you can get a matchup like this 3 weeks later, right? I feel like Serie A, they're usually spread out more. I don't think they do the complete 180 of the calendar anymore like they used to, or the replay of the calendar, but they never end up so close together. And this is really intriguing because, like you said, City could be first by January 1st, right? City could be top of the table by January 1st, 2026, which I think was unimaginable probably before the loss to Villa for Arsenal the last time out. And that's what makes this one crazy, is that Villa could draw level. City could be first in just a couple days' time. Something that we didn't think was going to happen. And like you said, Arsenal hasn't played poorly, right? They haven't had that many bad results. They're winners of 5 straight. So what are you thinking as we head into this one?
I think what's interesting to me in this title race, just before we get into the match itself, just something to touch on that Scotty started to say. It's fascinating how different the forward situation is for all of these teams, these top 4 teams, right? You have Arsenal, who for 5 or 6 years now haven't really figured out that they need a striker week in and week out, somebody to depend on.
They did figure it out. They tried. They've kind of tried, but hasn't really come out because he hasn't been good this season.
I forgot that dude even was on the team because
he's been hurt,
right? Gyökeres?
No, he's been hurt. He got hurt.
I legitimately at this moment forgot that he was on the roster. Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I still have Jesus in my head as starting week in and week out. You have Haaland, who obviously, is the most consistent guy there is, right? And we talked about it last show, I think. If he gets hurt, if he misses a month, if he I don't know, has a 2-3 game stretch where he doesn't score a goal. I haven't seen that happen yet, but if that does happen, where are the rest of City's goals coming from? And then you have Villa, who didn't have a forward for the first month of the season, and Ollie Watkins is getting hot. They're getting contributions from all their wingers. The signings, like you said, starting to come due. And then there's Poole. So I mean, you tell me what's going to happen in January, if anything. But Isak really needs to get going, and I think if he does, like you said, you can't really count them out. But I like Poole to finish in top 4 at this point. Based on the teams below them, it's Poole's to lose. Forget about place in the standings. It's still Poole's position to lose.
So let me ask you guys this about, talking about the title race, now that the title race seems to be on, especially if Villa gets a result today. Would you pre-match put something on Villa to win the title? I mean, they're plus 1,800 on FanDuel, plus 1,400 on DraftKings. Is there enough value there to take a shot?
So Scotty's saying no. What I'll say before I give my logic is you have to do it today. Because if they beat Arsenal, that number changes.
Yeah,
right?
Number changes a lot, I think.
So I'm with you, Steve, from that standpoint. I'm going to do the Scotty look ahead here. If we look at their schedule coming up, they got Forest. Hopefully they win. Palace, not the easiest, but you got Palace. Everton, Newcastle, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton. So Leeds, Wolves. So there is definitely room for them to pick up a ton more points. I think if you're banking that they could win this game, it's not a bad play, because that number probably goes down to plus 700, plus 800, by the time February hits. My guess.
Scotty says no.
No, here's the thing. I have this theory about the Premier League where if you want to win the Premier League, you're not going to do it on your first try. You have to be one of those teams that kind of gets close, that goes through the trials and tribulations, and you gotta earn it, right? You're going to have a bunch of 38 game seasons that really wear you down, that put you through the ringer in March and April, which we see has happened to Arsenal a lot. It's happened to Liverpool in the past. And that's really where you win the league, is in those last 2 months. That's where you've played, 28, 30 matches. Your legs are starting to fade. You've got to be hopeful that you're healthy at that point in the season, because we know a lot of injuries start to come into play. It doesn't seem like this is going to be a year where Villa can do that, because they haven't had to deal with that over the last 3 or 4 years. They've had a Champions, top 4 run or top 5 run, but aside from that, they've never really been in a legitimate title race with any of these other 2 or 3 teams. So I still would prefer Liverpool over Villa, honestly. I don't even love Liverpool, as I mentioned. I really think it's between City and Arsenal. Yep. And the question is, can Arsenal keep their form going? Their defense has been really strong for the first 4 months of the season. Can they continue that, or do the team start to kind of figure things out and how to kind of poke holes in their back line? And more so, can Arsenal keep up their form of scoring off of set pieces, because that's been the big storyline of this season, first half of the season for them, is getting these goals off of set pieces, kind of filling in for some of the lackluster forward play that they've gotten, obviously with injuries. But, does that turn around? So I don't think Villa is really a choice here, in my opinion. Like, you can do it. I get it. If you want to like maybe put it in and then cash out after a month, if that's like the plan, maybe. But there's other picks that you can do.
So I'm sitting here on
That's what I'm thinking.
FanDuel. I've got 100% boost that I can throw on this $10 max. So, it's not a lot, but I can get to plus 3,600 for $10. Right? Why not? Right? And then maybe
I've placed worse bets.
So I'm going to do it right now, live on the air.
Oh, I love it.
It's only a $10 bet, and what's the worst thing that happens? I lose $10, right? If they pull off that miracle, and I'm sitting pretty. So
I think you can turn that 10 into 50 if they win this game.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep an eye on it. If they string together a couple more
wins,
you
could turn that 10 into 60 if you just bet on them to win this game.
Yeah.
Also that.
So yeah, I thought about throwing it on the draw no bet too, but I could do that straight too.
Man.
I could live with that if I go in that direction. So, yeah, let's get into it. So the lines are really skewed heading into this one. I mean, for a match that has a team that just beat them 4 weeks ago, 3 points behind, which is what Villa is and has just done. Arsenal's minus 225 on the money line. Villa is plus 600 on the money line. Draw line's plus 380. I mean, and when you're talking about Villa, you still got to look at other options there because they're such big on the money line. You've got plus 450 on the draw no bet. I got to get the match props here, but the double chance on Villa was also a very favorable number. It's plus 170 right now in DraftKings, plus 180 depending on what book you're looking at. I mean, team total right now is sitting at plus 320 on Villa. They don't even go past over 1.5 on DraftKings. They're banking on Arsenal keeping them in check.
Villa to score 3 is plus 1,300 on Hard Rock.
Wow. So you've got the option. It's plus 1,300. Now, do I think they score 3? Probably not, right?
No.
Like that's like they have to play a perfect match to do that. But it just shows, I think, coming into this one, the books are heavily leaning Arsenal. We just got the news about an hour and a half ago that Declan Rice is out for this one. Got injured, filling in at right back. He's advertising as a right back last match, which is kind of a terrible situation for them, right? So, I mean, the values with Villa. Is it justified? Are the books off here? Like, what are you guys looking at coming to this one?
We got some bets in the chat. We got Kay who's saying Arsenal's winning by 1 or 2. Tim at the Better Life is looking at an under. John is on Villa double chance. What are we missing? That's the question I have for you, Scotty.
Yeah,
about a bet. Like,
you want me to make a case for and against Villa here? Because I can.
Matty Cash isn't that important, right? Kamara, like they're decent players, but they're not like make or break for this team. I'm looking at these
odds. Like we said, we talked about form. We talked about the reverse match. We talked about the players, the title race, everything, right? I understand Arsenal's at home, but should this spread be this big?
It's like huge. Yeah.
So there's something clearly the three of us are missing. There has to be.
Here's the case for why this is the right line, right? Why Arsenal should be favored by this much. Even with Gabriel and Saliba being in and out of the lineup for the last month to 6 weeks or so, their defensive record is still impeccable. It's 11 goals in 18 matches, right? So you're looking at about basically half a goal a game. I'm going to say with both of them in the lineup, you're looking at like 0.3 goals a game. It's something around that. So it's to get a goal against this Arsenal team, and then we're halfway through the season, has proven to be very, very difficult. So the +1 here is basically just spotting Villa that goal to see if they can kind of keep even, par with Arsenal throughout the game. To the second piece, Coach, I don't want you to overlook Boubacar Kamara because he's basically been the Zubimendi for this team. He sits in the defensive midfield position. He really controls he protects the back line. He really controls the way that Villa play out. So him not being in there, you're going to have somebody else filling in that position. I don't know if it's going to be Tielemans. Tielemans usually is more of a box to box, or if they have somebody else that can kind of slot in as a true number 6. But I think that's actually a bigger loss than maybe we're giving them credit for.
Could be.
I would say the counterpoint to my argument there is that Arsenal still have an injured back line. They still have wing backs that are going to be missing. Calafiori is still going to be out. And I think their difficulty in scoring will limit them to maybe 2 goals in this game. I don't see Arsenal getting 3. I think that would be a really strong performance from them. Like that would be like hey, this is our time to take the league and we're going to like put our stamp on it. So if Arsenal are limited to 2 goals here, you really just need Villa, like Ollie Watkins, like a really strong Morgan Rogers, who I think has been Villa's best player of the season. One of those 2 guys pulls out a moment of magic and gets something on the score sheet. You're pretty safe with that +1.
Yeah. I'm looking here, and I know what the bet we're going to give out here as a group. And I'm reading everybody's comments. We got Tim here with the XG. Everything we're talking about. A 1-1 correct score is +650. And I kind of can see it, right? Like we're talking about, both teams are going to play tight. I think, if you're Arsenal, a point at home probably isn't the worst thing in the world here. Couple key players missing. We're looking at an under. We're looking at a Villa double chance. We're looking at all this shit. 1-1 pretty much covers every bet that I'm reading, except for the one from K up here. But I could see it. I wish it was a better number than +650, but I definitely could see it. I think the draw is definitely in play in this game. I really do. At what is it, +350 that I'm looking at?
Yeah,
but
380, 350.
I don't see at these numbers how we cannot back Villa on the spread in some way, shape, or form. Until they lose, you have to ride this team. I don't care who they're playing, where they're playing. And they cashed the team total for us the last game.
Yeah. So is our bet of the match has to be that +1 on Villa, +110.
I think so.
I
think that's definitely the best place to be.
Value gives you a safety net. Might not be our only play, but that's probably our favorite one, I'd say.
Yeah. Definitely my favorite.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this, because I'm looking at player props right now. Ollie Watkins coming off a brace. It's also his birthday. I just happened to stumble upon. He's +360. I mean, if they're scoring, he's probably going to be have the best chance of scoring for them playing as the striker. So, I mean, +360 is a big number on him.
So, conversely, there's a number on Saka at +130, and we were just talking about this before the show. Saka in the year 2025 had a whopping 4 Premier League goals.
That's
and this guy is getting +130s hung next to his name.
+200 on DraftKings, but yeah, I mean, it speaks to.
I would take quite literally anybody else, including Ollie Watkins,
including Kai Havertz at +165,
including Gyökeres, who's probably at home in Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, my point with Watkins and also Morgan Rogers has been good. I almost gave him out a couple matches ago, and I didn't. I was kicking myself for not giving it out because he's been playing pretty well lately. He's +390. I mean, these Villa goal scorer props are very friendly. So that to me, I mean, it's not shocking because they're such big underdogs. So you're going to get the value when the team's an underdog and they're not really expected to score much according to the lines. But I mean, a guy of Watkins' quality who's coming off a brace +360, he's got to be feeling good about himself. I think that's a great number on him.
Yeah.
I would take. I would say Morgan Rogers' goal or assist is. Hold on, I'm on the line here. He's down. He's +230. Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a really good player prop.
I don't hate that. What do you guys feel about both teams to score? I mean, are we even just overthinking it? -110.
Yeah, again, it's going to come down to what's Villa to score, right? They like -120. No, -120.
We got here.
Better Life is with us here. Tim's with us. Yeah. He said -125 Villa just to score a goal.
Yeah, I would probably play that over both teams to score. Honestly, I know what you're doing. You're trying to get that extra bit of juice out of the game, but if Villa are scoring the first goal of the game and then they just sit back, we know Arsenal struggle to score an open play and they're just going to look for a set piece. If they can be disciplined, yeah, I could see a 1-0 game if Villa score in like the first goal in like the 55th minute, right? And they just play a very defensive game, second half.
Yeah, I mean, this should be a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely of the break, this is the one that has been circled, right? This is the biggest match, I think, in England anyways.
Definitely.
Anything else we want to talk about here? Shot on target, anything like that catches your eye before we move on to some more midweek stuff and then into the weekend?
I didn't look at those lines, so
Watkins -120 for a shot on target. Rogers +115.
It's not bad.
That's not bad. A lot of the Arsenal players, you got to go to 2 to get any value. But I mean, if you're looking at just a shot on target for one of these guys, there's some value there too. -120, +110. Mail in if he plays even money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How do we not go with Ollie on his birthday?
Just to get a shot. It doesn't have to score.
Yeah.
Just has to have a shot on target. Yeah.
All right. Well, you suckered me in. I'm in.
All right, so there it is. Play of the day. I mean, we hit our play of the day yesterday with that Roma team total within 19 minutes. This one we'll have to wait out the whole match, obviously, 'cause it's +1. But we like it. Good value. So hit us in the chat, comments on YouTube or Twitter with your favorite players. And we've got plenty of other matches. So let's talk a little bit about the midweek. We'll run through a couple bets we like and then look ahead to the weekend. Since we'll be only recording this week with Serie A and the Premier League in action, a pretty good Serie A slate. So, Scotty, I know you liked one in the 2:30 match, which is just about 40 minutes away. Chelsea-Bournemouth.
Yeah, both teams have been scoring at will. Chelsea certainly has their strength being in their attacking line, and Bournemouth, they came on really strong to start of the season. It's been a little bit of middle of the pack for the last month or two, but they're still scoring. Semenyo is still on the team for now. He might be moving in January. I like both teams to score in this one. The line is surprisingly playable. Has it moved yet, Coach? I don't think it has. Oh, both teams are scoring over 2.5. Sorry, that's the playable one. Yeah, -130. Because obviously both teams to score, sitting at -190. So yeah, I like that one. I think this is a game that has plenty of goals. If you are looking for a little first half appetizer, you can watch the first half of this before Villa and Arsenal kick off. So that's probably where I'm going to roll right now with this match.
Yeah, and Bournemouth's defense is bad. I mean, that's just something that I don't think we talk about enough. Like, that's really kind of what's holding them back. Not holding them back. I mean, I don't know what their ceiling is, but that's holding them back from being in the top half of the table, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth goals scored just 2 fewer than Aston Villa this season. That's like tale of two different teams. You're scoring almost the same clip as the team that's sitting in third place on this 12-game unbeaten streak, and you're sitting 6-7 points above the drop zone. So,
man, can they cover a spread? +1.5, like almost in playable range.
Well, that's why I like the over, because this could be a game that Chelsea puts up 3 or 4, right?
So Tim says Villa money line plus Bournemouth money line parlay for the sickos. You would get that at +35.75 if you want to sprinkle on that.
Who's got a bonus bet? Throw that bad boy.
Throw the bonus bet on there. Make it a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to open 2026.
Let's see. I dig it.
I know the other one you like, Scotty, was on a team that hasn't been playing well, but has a favorable matchup for their attack, and that's Brighton at West Ham.
Yeah, their team total over 1.5 is my favorite there. I mean, West Ham, I've said it for 2 years now, Nick. They just don't actively choose to not play defense. Sitting there with 36 goals conceded, second worst in the league, only behind bottom place Wolves. I think any team I would take over 1.5 team total, and it just so happens that this number is playable. I think it's like -115. So yeah, I think that's my third best bet in today's slate for England.
Okay. Oh, and I forgot. Did we give out the stat, Scotty, on Villa at the Emirates that we?
Well, I was saying, not specifically Emirates. Your stat was that Villa have won the last 2 matches at Emirates. My stat is just
draw. Yes, they've gotten results at the Emirates in 2 straight.
Last 5 games, 5 head-to-head matchups between Villa and Arsenal. Villa are 3-1-1. Just a interesting number considering how much success Arsenal's had realistically in the last 2 years. That Villa have performed that well against them, even in some of their maybe middle of the table seasons.
Yeah, I had to give that out before we moved on. I almost forgot. All right, anything else in the midweek that you guys like here, either today or on New Year's Day?
I like not betting the United and Wolves game. That's my favorite thing. Just don't bet that game. There's nothing you can do to make that game make sense. Stay away from it. So that's my next favorite thing.
And Forest, we can't trust them hosting Everton, right? Everton's a little too tricky, I think, here.
Yeah, and I don't like that one. I don't like Sunderland, right? Sunderland, I've been trying to get value out of, but they're hosting City. I would love to see Sunderland get a result here, but without half their team at being at AFCON, this is one where I think Sunderland just kind of has to they don't have to roll over, but I think they do kind of roll over.
And I think if City, smells blood, say Arsenal trips up today in some way, they drop some kind of points and he smells blood, like this might become a City -1.5 kind of situation.
That's a City team total, like 3 and 2.5, 3.5, something like that. Like go crazy, try to get +150 or better. Definitely.
All right. Shall we swing over to the weekend in the Premier League? Obviously, these lines might shift. So if you like something, probably lock it in now because depending on how these results go midweek, they could change. But just jumping right into Saturday morning, Villa has a quick turnaround hosting Forest, -120 in the money line. I know, obviously, their confidence could be shot if things don't go well today, or it could be flying high.
Have to.
But -120 at home seems like a very good value bet.
Yeah,
Have
that's
to.
one. Lock it in now. I mean, if somebody gets hurt, it sucks. But yeah, Forest.
I don't think that there's a single result that could happen today that would talk me off of that Villa number against Forest.
Yeah,
It's just the
Doesn't
number's too
matter.
good, right? That's what it has to come down to.
yeah.
And Villa
Forest
won
is,
and they're going to be a letdown. Oh, they're playing Forest. Oh,
Yeah.
Villa lost. They need to bounce back. Oh, Villa drew. Whatever. You're at
Yeah.
home to Forest.
Yeah, this Forest team's giving up 36 goals, second worst in the league, behind only Wolves. So
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, that was West Ham. There,
That was West Ham.
No, yeah, I was looking at the line below, but they've given up 28 goals. Still a poor number.
No.
Only
and they
5
just
off
haven't
the
gotten.
relegation zone.
You know, they just haven't really gotten going. You know, they placed the manager for the fourth time in the last 2 years. It feels like,
Yeah.
and they just have not gotten any sort of continuity going. This just feels like a Forest team that is doomed to, you know, mid tables or worse fortune for the next foreseeable, you know, year or two.
Yeah, I think so. It's not a good situation for them.
Easy.
All right. We've got a relegation 6-pointer, which really is just, can Wolves drag West Ham down with them more than a relegation?
Can Wolves get
6-pointer
their
against-
first win?
Can they get their
I
first
think-
win and
listen,
drag down West Ham?
Listen, the odds say that they can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
the
the
odds are
only
almost
time they're
even.
favorite.
Why are they favored? Scares me. I think Wolves are winning this game.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Wolves to get a win. I don't think that they're going to go a season winless. That'd be a little crazy.
This is it.
If there's ever a team to kind of make yourself feel better, it's getting West Ham at home. You're going to get it.
I really wish I could get Wolves like on a draw no bet because it's still Wolves at the end of the day. But the odds are telling me Wolves win this game because they
Yeah,
shouldn't be
favored at
favored to
home.
the 3 of us plus the 8 guys in the chat.
I mean,
So-
if they win this, if they don't win this, are they going to win a game all year? Right? It doesn't come down to, I guess, this or beating Burnley or something. But
Wolves over 1.5. It's plus 115 team total. I don't hate that.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
They scored like 10 goals all year.
No, they're doing. They can score goals, right? Oh no, they scored 10 goals. Yeah, okay. I
Yeah,
thought
no
they've
way.
been scoring goals.
No way.
yeah.
But I think they
AJ in
win.
the chat asking about our final prediction. We gave it out a little while ago. If you joined us late, it's Villa +1 is our play of the day. So thanks for joining us, and that is our play of the day.
Under 2.5 in this Wolves game too. It's -120.
Yeah, with West Ham's shitty defense.
West
Dude,
Ham,
I'm telling you, man.
yeah.
The
I
three of
just
us
gave
can
out
probably
that
put up
stat.
a
These
goal
are
and
the
a half.
2 worst defenses in the league, right? 39 and 36.
And the 2 worst offenses.
No, actually, West Ham has scored 1 more goal than Everton
Oh, okay.
and Forest. So
Silly
they're
me.
like the 17th worst attack or 16th worst attack. And
Yeah, I don't know.
Wolves
Anyway,
by far
stay
the
off
worst
of
with
it.
only
But
10,
Wolves
yeah.
are winning this game. I'm telling you, it's not. This says 0 about how I feel about Wolves or West Ham or form or anything like that. Just strictly looking at the odds, Wolves are winning this game.
Yeah. I think the other one, skipping to Sunday, there's not a ton of Saturday matches. I don't know if you guys like anything, the Arsenal Bournemouth or to close out Saturday. But the one that jumped out at me and it jumped out at you guys when we were scrolling through these lines pre-show is Sunday morning, Liverpool at Fulham, -105 on the money line for Liverpool that's starting to put it together. I know Scotty likes to be
Stay
kind
away.
of pessimistic with his side, stay away.
like to
He's going to say
abstain.
like Fulham plus half a goal or something. But I mean, the values there on the Liverpool side is starting to put it together a bit.
Yeah, I think that the part that makes me feel slightly better about this Liverpool team now is, you know, it feels like they kind of have their lineup, right? The first 2 or 3 months of the season, there's been a lot of rotation, trying to figure out who is their best players, you know, who's going to make the most sense in a forward, you know, a front three. Salah had been kind of not been at his best, and you always have to kind of pencil him in. And with him being at AFCON, it's given Slot some time to tinker with things a little bit more. So now with this front three, where you have, you know, Verts playing off of Ekitike, who I think has been, you know, Liverpool's second best player behind Szoboszlai this season. You can maybe argue between those two. And then Frimpong, who has been hurt most of the season, now coming in at right wing, provides a lot of speed, a lot of pace. I think he's gotten 2 assists in his last 2 games.
Yep.
I think this makes a lot of sense. So this now feels like a Liverpool attack that is actually dangerous. It's not just passing the ball back. They still do that a decent amount, but there is a little bit more emphasis in going forward and a little bit more of a cutting attack. Defense is still shaky, right? They conceded against versus Wolves, and when they had a 2-0 lead and kind of had to, you know, bear down the last 10 minutes to make sure that Wolves didn't get a shitty equalizer. So that's always a concern, especially on the road. But I feel a lot more confident in how this Liverpool team has been playing the last month or so. I'm hoping it just continues to build. more that Wirtz gets experience in the Premier League. I think he's added muscle, and so he's being a little bit more physical. I think that just bodes well for this Liverpool team.
So I said this off air, and I will publicly apologize to anybody that's been following along or anybody that listens. Fulham are much better than I was giving them credit for preseason. They're much better than I give them credit for probably week in and week out. The fact that they're mid-table 10th, this to me was a 15, 16, 17 place team. So they have been way better. They have 8 wins. They're scoring goals. But they also have 8 losses, right? So the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause is their recent form. I think they've won 3 in a row in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. But Liverpool at basically even money against Fulham, like, you just have to take that bet. Sorry, like there's not much else that really needs to go into it. Like, good for Fulham, good for this form that they're in. They're gonna not get relegated this year. That's a win. But Liverpool also has 3 straight wins. Liverpool hasn't lost a game in 2 months in the Premier League. Now's the time. -110 is not a number you're going to get very often.
Fulham's form might be a little bit of fool's gold because the 3 teams they've beaten in that instance are West Ham, Forest, and Burnley.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Drew a shorthanded Sunderland, right? Are they the team that just drew Sunderland? Was that them
No.
on the weekend? Oh, no, that was Leeds.
not.
That was Leeds.
That was Leeds. Yeah.
My mistake. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So
that's good context.
A little more ammunition to why you should take Liverpool then.
All
right, to wrap up the weekend, there's definitely value in these matches if you like anybody. We've got Newcastle -130 hosting Palace. You've got Spurs -120 hosting Sunderland. Everton +135 hosting Brentford, and City -135 hosting Chelsea. In the
I think Newcastle is suffering. And listen, Crystal Palace stink, right? They've been very bad the last month or so. But I think this Newcastle, they're getting like name recognition lines right now, right? Like, people are still talking about the Newcastle from last year and the year before, because why are they a -135 favorite? They're in 15th place, 14th place. They haven't played well. They have 1 win in their last 2 months. Why should I back Newcastle at -135?
I think this has to be an over match at -125. It feels like too a little bit, right? I mean, I'm looking at the recent form. You've got Newcastle over 2.5 and 8 out of 10. Palace in 5 out of 7. Do we get 3 goals here? Newcastle hasn't kept a clean sheet in 11 straight.
That's a
Palace in 5.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
could
stat.
see it. I could see it. It wouldn't surprise me.
But I'm staying away from this game. I just don't think Newcastle should be that big of a favorite. Is all I was trying to say.
Can I set you guys up with a potential storyline? Because obviously we haven't seen the midweek games. So Sunderland playing City. We know Sunderland, great starts of the season. Obviously, players at AFCON, a little bit of a concern while these players have been out. They've been doing okay. I'd say treading water mostly, but they've dropped back down to 7th. Playing City this week, I think we both kind of expect City, like we said, to run away with that one.
Yeah.
So assuming Sunderland lose at home to City, now they have to travel to Tottenham with basically what I would say is like their season on the line, right? Like if they want to try to get into like one of these top 7 European qualifications, really complete this unbelievable storyline, I almost think this has to be a must-win game because this Tottenham team has not been good. They've been conceding goals left and right. Even with this Sunderland team treading water, I think they can probably get a result here if they really need to. And sitting here at +0.5 goal is -110. I really like that. That feels like a game for Sunderland to come in and get something. Maybe they don't, get a resounding win. Maybe they concede a late equalizer, something to that extent. But Sunderland getting half a goal at or basically even money feels like a really good play here. Assuming, even like you said, even if they win against City against all odds, I don't know that this would be a trap game for them.
No, I think you carry that momentum if they do get a result against City. I liked both teams to score in that one, quite honestly, -120. I feel like
that's also good.
You kind of take the result out of it a little bit, but I'm with you. I'd like to have something to root for as well, besides the bet, right? Like I just want to see chaos and let Tottenham drop all the points.
Yeah, I love the Sunderland storyline. I would love to see them get in the top 7. I do have a soft spot after that Netflix documentary from when they were down until like League One for a while, and you kind of root for these kind of sides. Got some history, and they kind of went through a rough patch. It's hard to. I think it's hard to take them to get a result here, but I do like the both teams to score angle because Spurs do concede goals, and then you know what? If you get the both teams to score -120, that's a nice way to cash, and then you can still root for Sunderland to get a result. I just think it's a slightly safer play.
And just, looking at these games, right? You're talking about teams that are playing 2 games in the span of 5 days, some of them, right?
And you're shorthanded, right?
Some are shorthanded. We're ramping back up. There's a lot of these games could go a lot of different ways. So
Yeah.
that's why I think you're seeing us approach them with totals, with the both teams to score, with props, things like that. There's not too many that I'm confident with taking sides, other than we spoke about Liverpool. And quite honestly, I'm probably taking City money line against Chelsea on Sunday.
Well, City money line and over 1.5 is -110.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where
City money line at -130 on its own. But
you
not
can
that
do
I don't
that.
think they scored. I mean, there's going to be 2 goals, right? If they win.
Many goals. Yeah. I think their team total is -190.
I was just going to say it's minus.
So,
I just went to look to see what it was, and it's -190. Yeah.
So
and Chelsea's still just a team I can't figure out. I mean, I think they're in 5th because every other team has been so mediocre. Like, I don't think they're in 5th because they're that good. Not to say they haven't had some good performances, because they have, but I certainly don't think they're better than City right now.
No, definitely not. You know what's weird thing about Chelsea is, like, we made fun of them for 2 years over how many players they've bought, but weirdly, like, this year they've had a decent amount of roster continuity in, like, their lineup. They haven't really brought in any brand new faces except for maybe, I think, was Garnacho was he this summer?
Yeah.
And who otherwise, it's
a couple months.
Enzo Fernandez, it's Caicedo, it's Cole Palmer, it's Fofana. It's the same kind of core guys that they kind of brought in over. So that, I think, has probably helped them more than anything.
Definitely. Good couple.
Yeah.
I mean, good 5-6 days to bet the Premier League for sure.
Yeah. Let's jump over to Italy, because pretty loaded weekend in terms of head-to-heads in Serie A this weekend. Kicks off on Friday. I don't know if you like anything on Friday afternoon. We've got Milan traveling to Cagliari. Always a tricky place to play, Nick.
Yeah,
tricky place to play for a lot of these teams when they go there. I know Roma had a nightmare match. Our boy Christian Pulisic plus 155 on the goal line. He's been hot. I know Scotty doesn't buy him, but he is producing in Serie A. I don't know if you like anything here.
I think the team total is really just kind of right on the edge. If you want to maybe wait a couple minutes, play that live, or if the number comes down, it's not a Milan team that scores a ton consistently, but they're close to averaging 2 goals a match, which you can't really say about too many teams in Italy this year, right? Which is kind of nuts. And I say this week in and week out, they only have 1 loss. Like, it doesn't feel that way, but they've been, because all of their draws were against bad teams. So, like, it feels like they have worse results than they do. You got to kind of back them. They just went to Hellas and took care of, or at home against Hellas and took care of business, put up 3 in that one. I think these are the points they have to take. And this is the kind of shit that Allegri was kind of appointed for. So,
and John cautions us, they did drop points both matches last year.
Tough place to play. Really tough place to play. That's the one caution I have, but this Milan side's too good.
All right. Couple interesting ones Saturday. I mean, you were talking about, I wish they were the same day with that Milan team total and Como money line minus 155. I think it's a little too juice to play. They're hosting Udinese. They've been good outside that loss to Roma recently. I think, we talked about it. They are poised to fight for the top 7 spot, and they're still doing it. And we're halfway through the calendar year, and they're here sitting in 6th place with a match in hand on Juve, who's 5 ahead of them. So,
listen, another team that I was kind of wrong about, very wrong. I'm not rooting for them. I'm not, like, that's the hipster pick of all hipster picks. So I don't want them to fucking do it. But
team total minus 135.
They're getting the results, and I'm looking at the teams around them. I mean, Juve obviously have been much better since they got Spalletti. Okay, you can take it for what it is. Bologna, Lazio, Sassuolo, Atalanta, the teams around them are not very good. So I really do think Como, I mean, if they want to finish top 4, top 5, these are the games you have to win. You can't leave points on the table in this one at home. So I wouldn't talk anybody off taking Como on the money line or on a team total. But I need to see that these are the games they can win consistently. That's kind of the phase that we're in, right? Like Scotty says, nobody does it year 1, right? This is the first year that they have, whether they're legitimate or not, whether they should or shouldn't. This is the first year they have European aspirations.
Yeah.
Can they beat Udinese in the in the middle of fucking January? Like, that's what I need to see. I know that sounds ridiculous, but, like, can they do it?
And it's opened up for them, right? With Atalanta getting off to such a slow start,
Terrible
with
team.
Fiorentina sitting bottom of the table. Those are 2 teams that are regularly in those European spots. So even if they finish 7th in a conference league, that's an accomplishment for this side. So I think it's right there for them. And Bologna
and Bologna doesn't have a win, since November.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
The next couple matches, probably ones I'll stay away from. Sassuolo, Parma. Can't trust Sassuolo. We've learned that. Genoa hosting Pisa. I mean, Genoa should win at home, but you're not going to bet them at minus 120.
Terrible against Roma, though.
Yeah, Roma torn apart. Yeah,
as
called
by
anything.
Those are probably stay away spots for me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not touching that. They're probably like unders that are super juiced. Juve big favorites against Lecce.
Yeah.
Probably not much you can get out of that. That brings us
unless
to Saturday.
you think Juve is scoring 3 on their own. I mean, that's really kind of the only thing you could do.
How often does that happen? How often has Juve scored 3 in the league?
Never. I mean,
and I feel like Lecce, they don't win a lot, but they don't concede like 3-4 goals on the regular. They've only conceded 22 in 16 matches. Not bad for a team that's just above the relegation zone. So they're not like, the team's giving up 28 plus goals at this point in the season.
Staying away.
Yeah. The big one on Saturday is Atalanta hosting Roma. Roma plus 220 on the money line.
Silly.
I mean, you don't have to really convince me often, but the way they played against Genoa, it's probably the best they've looked under Gasperini. I know it's Genoa.
Atalanta is not that far off from Genoa's level.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at on. This is probably the biggest mismatch line of the week, if I'm being honest.
I mean, you could get Roma on the draw no bet at plus 135 if you want the protection.
Roma double chance at minus 135 all day.
Roma team total plus 180 after they just scored 3. I mean, are they going to score multiple goals again? I don't know, because Atalanta, kept Inter in check. Took Inter a while to score. I think Atalanta is going to try to keep it tight. But
is this Gasperini's first match back at Atalanta?
It is.
Oh yeah.
So there may be a little bit of a little extra effort from Atalanta players here, or no? What's the vibe? Is that something we can consider?
I don't think there's any hard feelings, right?
I don't want to call it a revenge game, but is there?
I don't think it's a revenge game either way, because he gave so much to that club and he brought them glory they hadn't had. So it didn't seem like there was animosity when he left. Nick, did it? I mean, I didn't see anything in the press, but
no, I don't think so.
Well, then I can't.
Only one would be Lookman. I would keep an eye on Lookman, because Lookman, he's
in AFCON, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's in AFCON, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll have to worry about that in Rome.
Don't got to worry about Lookman.
Yeah, he would be the one guy I would say.
Missing the net from 14 inches because that dude fucking stinks.
Well, I mean, Scamacca, you always have that like X angle. He's the ex Primavera grad and Roman, but like they love to play that angle in Italy. But yeah, I think it's too much value on Roma. I
shout out John, because that's a great point. Atalanta, a terrible home team. That's been something we've talked about over the last 3 years on this podcast ad nauseum. But yeah, a weirdly just bad home team, but good road team. So
Roma double chance is a play. I think you can. Roma doesn't have a draw yet, so I think the draw at plus 230. Draw at plus 230, like.
They might go the first half of the season without drawing. It's wild. I don't know.
In Italy, of all places.
Yeah. We go to Sunday morning, Nick. I think I know where you're going to go with this, but it's your boys hosting Napoli in the 6:30 Eastern time slot. Napoli's plus 130 on the money line.
To the bank. To the fucking bank. Lazio's terrible.
Yeah.
Can't score.
Team total cash for us on the weekend. I think it's a solid play.
Did Lazio get a red card their last game? Did I make that up?
I don't know. I got the last 5 minutes of the game out of my mind because they gave up the ugliest equalizer in the history of ever in the 96th minute.
Do you think Napoli gets 2 in this match?
Sure. Plus 160? Why not?
Yeah.
Hoyland, he's hot.
Mario Gilla, red card in the 79th minute.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Will not be playing. So
Hoyland's plus 260. That's kind of
I just went there right before after you said he's hot, because he did have the brace on the weekend.
What is he to get a shot?
Team total first.
Minus 140 for a shot on target.
That's not that bad. I mean, you could even pair that with something else you like if you want to go like with a little protection on.
Yeah, dude. This is a Napoli 2-0, Napoli 2-1 win. No question.
All right. Maybe the wildest Serie A story of the year is Fiorentina sitting bottom of the table through just about halfway through the season, 9 points. They host Cremonese, who has been kind of a surprise package. I mean, 21 points for Cremonese at the halfway point, possibly more. Still 2 matches to go before we're halfway through the season. Did not expect that. I don't know about if you did, Nick.
No.
But I mean, is there value on taking Cremonese plus like half a goal here? Do they go and get a result in Florence, or because Fiorentina is minus 145 at home and they're playing terrible?
This is gross. We'll say if you live in Florida, they're minus 130, so it's a little bit better. Gross game. So we're talking about a Fiorentina team who obviously everybody had being better than last place, and we're talking about a Cremonese team who you and I thought would probably be
bottom of the
relegated,
table,
right?
Yeah.
Like didn't have a guy on the team that I would be like, okay, this team could stay up. And here they are with 21 points. I really wish we can catch a goal on Cremonese because I would take it, but the number's just not there.
Yeah.
They also haven't scored in 3 games too.
Yeah, ugly game. I think I'm staying away from it. I really don't know what to say about it.
Yeah, I think the magic has kind of run out. My boy Vardy, he's been.
I was going to say he's plus
pretty bad. He's been pretty bad.
Swing.
Yeah,
but yeah, it'll be interesting though because if Fiorentina has to get something out of this, man, I don't know where they go. I really don't.
If they lose this game, liquidate the fucking team. I don't know. I don't know what else.
They might be selling off in January. Some guy. I don't know. It's going to be panic mode. I mean, they're kind of already in panic mode. They went to that lockdown that they do in Italy.
Both teams to score is minus 110. That's really the only thing I would look at. But like you said, Scotty, Cremonese hasn't scored in 3.
Yeah,
so that's not good.
Verona Torino, kind of a gross match, but there's value. The
gross match, Sunday. But big match for Verona because if they can, they're slight favorites in this game, but they are favorites at home. They get 3 points. They pop out of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
There's a lot to play for.
Depending on Genoa's result. Yeah. On Saturday.
Could you imagine a 2026-27 year where we get to fade Hellas Verona again? Like I didn't think it was possible.
Every year they manage to stay up and you can fade them and then they just hang around. It's kind of like Everton for a couple years, right?
Yeah.
They look so close to going down a couple times, but they've hung around. And we close the slate with Inter hosting Bologna, and this is an interesting one because Bologna knocked them out of the Supercopa a couple weeks ago in where was it, Saudi Arabia? They played it and on penalty kicks. But Bologna's not afraid of this Inter side. They beat them at home last year, only lost and then drew at the San Siro last season. So they got results in 3 straight against this team. Can they do it again? Can they get anything out of it?
Goal and a half is minus 160 for me. I don't know. What do you? Yeah, I was trying to
minus 140.
Yeah, I don't know. I do not know.
Goal and a quarter is minus 125.
Yeah, just moved to minus 150.
I mean, there's a lot of money coming in on Inter for this for good reason. I'm sure they're probably taking the minus 1, and I don't blame them.
And Bologna hasn't kept a clean sheet in 9. I mean, somehow they're under 2.5 goals in 5 out of 6, but haven't kept a clean sheet, and they've had both teams scoring in 7 and 9.
All right, both teams to score is minus 110.
Yeah, we need Bologna to score first. That's
Bologna
really
have to score first. Yeah,
that's kind of the hope for that one. They just really haven't been good.
Yeah,
and
now if we filter out the Super Cup, if we filter out the Super Cup and just look at their last 4 in Serie A, 1-1 draw hosting Sassuolo last week, 1-0 loss to Juve, 1-1 draw at Lazio. 3-1 loss to Cremonese.
For the league, don't let Inter win this game.
I mean, you guys saying Bologna have not been good. They've got joint 3rd most goals in the league this year with 1 fewer game played.
Yeah.
It's been recent form has been good. Recent form has not been good.
I'll take the both teams.
Outside of that draw against Inter.
Both teams to score minus 110 is my play.
No, I kind of like it. I mean, we're not laying with Inter, so I kind of dig it.
I mean, if they
do kind of feel like Inter smashing this one.
Yeah. If Inter do drop points, though, we could have Milan at top of the table. You could have Napoli either joint or ahead of Inter, depending on how it goes. It could get interesting. And they all have games in hand on Roma and Juve. So these 3 are pretty safe in the top 3 right now.
We got a good weekend, man.
Yeah, it's a good weekend. Great midweek here in the Premier League with the match that's kicking off in just about an hour.
Schedule makers know what they're doing.
Yeah. And then
they know we're all sitting at home with nothing to do.
Yeah, finally a busy weekend in Italy. And then there's a quick turnaround in Italy on the Epiphany. They play like Tuesday or something again. So
fade Pisa on that. I don't even know what that is, but fade them. One thing I've learned.
I dig it.
Yeah. So the 6th and 7th and 8th, we get those midweek matches in Italy. But great weekend slate. Hope you guys enjoyed the Villa Arsenal talk. We'll see if Villa can get the job done. We thank you for listening. We wish you a happy new year, and follow us on all social channels. They're down below. Our pictures there, and subscribe. We appreciate you, and we look to see you next episode.
Good luck.